Something out of a James Bond movie. That's how residents have described a fire that ripped through their unit in Cartwright in the city's southwest.
So as you know, the last thing they want us to have is any actual news or information. And these fire stories are put in to chew up time. So it seems like they're giving us news, but they're actually telling us nothing because, as I've mentioned quite a few times now, it's totally irrelevant to most people's lives. But they've peppered this one with that it's from a James Bond movie to try and justify it.
Residents and pets avoided serious injury, but
obviously it's good that no one got injured. The pets didn't get injured, but that's less justification to have it on. And bear in mind, this isn't some magazine TV news. You know, it's not the morning show news or the Today Show news or Sunrise news. This is the 6 p.m. Sydney Bulletin. I mean, if it's going to be any news, it's got to be here, and this is what they've given us.
the same can't be said for their home.
The couple which rents here say they didn't have much.
They didn't have much, so it's not like a one-of-a-kind Brett Whiteley painting or anything like that was destroyed. Not much was destroyed.
But just a few hours earlier, it was home. And now their treasures are simply ash by the side of a Cartwright road.
He almost burnt me face off once I pulled the fridge forward and then...
His hair was on fire.
Why is he hiding his face when he said got burnt? Can he show us? Did he receive any medical attention? And his hair was on fire. Can't see. It was on fire. Surely there'd be some kind of red mark on his skull somewhere on the top.
Lucky an understatement.
And it is when you lose everything that you've got, especially photos of your children.
They claim what started as a small spark in the kitchen at 4:30 this morning ate through the roof and swallowed the walls within minutes.
So the fact that they saw the sparks and knew that it was a spark in the kitchen and that none of them got very badly injured apart from the burnt hair and face that we didn't get to see, just they were obviously up and about doing stuff. So I'm just wondering whether the spark in the kitchen they might have had something to do with.
You know what? I feel like I was on some sort of James Bond movie or something.
Now, this is Madison, the neighbour. Now, she's uninjured, unlike the poor tenants of the unit that caught on fire with the burnt face. And she seems to be the source for the lead-in narrative of the story that is from a James Bond movie. Now, I didn't think that James Bond movies were synonymous with unit fires and house fires. So it seems very unusual that, she would say that. Just wondering whether, she got told to say that. Also, they didn't send any fire crews down. They didn't want to pay overtime. The only big vision we get of the fire is they just show us her phone.
Madison and her boyfriend Jonathan were trapped next door with their dog Missy.
Well, that's a dire situation. Obviously, they couldn't get down the stairwell and they were trapped in their unit. I wonder what happened.
He jumped out and then I just threw the dog so that way she could land on him.
I don't care if I bust my knee or anything, I'm still alive, she could have been dead, so to be...
Wow, that's incredible. Was that dire? Now, this is Jonathan, that's Madison's boyfriend. So he's jumped out. Now, Madison just thrown the dog, and she said it landed on top of him. She didn't say, she called out, can you catch the dog? Because Madison knew that if the dog landed on him, it would be okay. What?
To be honest, I'm happy that I saved her life.
Well, let's be honest. Sounds like you didn't know the dog was going to land on you. So probably give more credit to Madison, but your body was there to cushion the dog's impact. So, all right, look, let's give him that. Let's not take that away from him.
Fire crews arrived to save Madison.
Well, how dire was the situation that she waited in a unit? So let me get this straight. He's jumped out. She thinks he's in enough danger. She's trying to dog on top of him. But then she doesn't jump out herself. She just stays in the unit, makes the assessment. I'll throw the dog out, but I'm staying up here.
And make sure 20 other residents of the apartment complex kept their distance.
Everything was exploding within 5 minutes, it just got deadly as.
Well, apparently the fire started from just some sparks, but he said he's heard some explosions. But perhaps it wasn't as deadly as what you thought. Your jump might have been a bit premature. Throwing the dog out was probably premature. Seems how Madison probably just sat back and waited for the fireys to rescue her.
The Department of Housing says it's finding temporary accommodation for everyone involved.
So they got the camera on him, and he can barely walk. He's in a lot of pain. What happened to his knee again?
I don't care if I bust my knee or anything.
That dressing looks a bit flimsy for a busted knee. It doesn't look like it's been put on by a medical professional. It's like he just wrapped something around it himself. So, but he's in a lot of pain. Look at that.
As to what started the fire, the answer's in here somewhere.
I'd probably be looking at what these two were doing at 4:30 in the morning for the cause of it. Oh, look, he actually did show his face, and it doesn't look that. He looks about as injured as the guy with the bandage on his knee. So you can see what's happened here, can't you? There hasn't been a house fire all day. They finally got one, and they need to fill up the news segment. So, and there wasn't much here that justified the 6 p.m. bulletin, so there was nothing, no valuables lost, no one went to hospital, so they had to add all these stories of dogs being thrown out windows in order to justify it. Oh, look, I'm glad they did. This has been a lot of fun, this one. Like I said, I'm still against them, hiding the news from us by using house fires, but this one was pretty special.